Shopping Tears Podcast. We hold it down. They know us now.
It works.
You got Wilkins, Mr. Black, Chanel from the A-Tour.
So obnoxious. Jobber Nation. We're live not only on Spotify, all that stuff, but we're actually live on Facebook right now doing an episode of quarantine day number 7,698. As always, I'm Janelle from HR here with Sir Wilkins and Mr. Black. Are you drinking?
Oh, it's my cards.
You drinking on the jump? You drink. Oh, you different. Like,
It's my card, man. Like, I'm a rookie, man. I get drunk off of this. After like 1.5, I go, oh man, I be slumped.
that's a lie, because when you got trash at your brother's party, you did not have a mic card that night.
He got trashed at the brunch. Both brunches. They
Both
was falling asleep.
Both keep falling asleep. We was like, we didn't know what happened. Like, I remember Sir Wilkins was like, "No, my brother." I was like, "What's wrong with your brother? Like, is he okay?" He sleeps.
He's sleeping.
I had a long week.
Anyway, as always, we are here to give you guys the tea of the week and also some, updates. I like to always check on my bros below, make sure they good. So, guys, what are you watching new this week?
So far, I've never even been watching new. I've been watching a lot of like history stuff on WWE, like looking up to like people I used to see, like what happened to this person, what happened to that person. I've been catching up on a lot of like I've been freshening up on my history on WWE, freshening up my history on basketball, just freshening up my history in general. I've been reading a lot of books. I'm almost done with the 50 Cent book. I'm about to finish the Poet book pretty soon. I'm gonna finish up on the Charlemagne second book, and about to finish Rick Ross' book, and that's it. A lot of self-improvement. That's it.
Okay, self-improvement this week. So, Wilkins, what's new with you this week? What have you been watching on TV?
I started watching Ozark.
Okay. So the first season I thought was good. The second season lost me. So
I don't know. I'm only up to episode 4 or 5. I think I am. I've been watching it the past week. Shout outs to my boy Lil Dicky getting renewed for second season of Dave.
The highest comedy show on FX is his show. The highest rating in history, the history of the channel, the network. His show. So shout outs to him.
Mm-hmm.
This week I started watching Never Have I Ever. It's a show on Netflix. It's about an Indian American girl who loses her dad. She's a sophomore in high school, so it's all about like adjusting to her new life. Niecy Nash is her therapist. It is hilarious. What else?
Shout out to Julian Bell.
Oh, you can see. I can see things. What else have I been watching? So I watched that. Of course, I watched this week's episode of Insecure. And just so that everyone knows.
Let's talk about it.
Everyone will know I will never treat Sir Wilkins like Molly does Issa. I would never. Just want to put that on record. I said it on Facebook. I say it in person. Because that shit is grimy. That shit is grimy. What did you think? What did you think?
Explain to me on your end why you think it was grimy.
Because I'm all about. I understand sometimes with the emotions, sometimes it's not always the right time.
Mm-hmm.
But as a person, as your best friend, you would want to see the person win. Like, it should never be about whatever beef you had with the other individual, because it's not about that. Like, it's about the bigger picture. And I felt like even though Issa had went to Nathan to help her, she asked Molly first. And Molly said she didn't ask him. So, like, she wasn't there or supportive of her friend in the time that she needed her. And then just when they call each other all out on their bullshit, they been should have did that. They waited way too long.
Yeah.
To say all that shit.
And
so I was just
yeah.
over it. I was like, oh.
I was kind of upset that Lawrence broke up with that girl, but I kind of see why he broke up with her because Lawrence wanted a relationship. What I'm realizing about Lawrence, like Lawrence went through this whole phase. Give and take, it probably was like
Lawrence want Issa back, low key. So
I mean, Issa looking kind of young. Like
if he can learn how to, and I think that's just every day. Like when you go through shit with somebody, like if you could learn to rebuild that trust with somebody, then you can maybe make it work. But that's really the only thing that holds Lawrence back is he doesn't trust Issa.
I mean, personally, what she did was wrong, hands down. But I understand why, because when you've been carrying load for so long for somebody is sometimes you feel like, dang, you hadn't cheated once. And honestly, would I take her back? Nah, nigga, because you came home with your dick breath and tried to kiss me with your dick breath. Hell no. Sucking dick. Sucking mother effing dick and try to kiss me up on me. You hoe. You hold it up, Lee East. Hold it up right there. Try to kiss with your dick breath.
And, oh, Lord, we went from friendship to dick breath. Sir Wilkins, what did you think this week's episode of Insecure? Lord.
So nobody. Okay. I don't think Molly was 100% wrong. She's still trash for what she did, but she wasn't 100% wrong. And the biggest thing is that she set up a boundary with Issa. Like, yo, hey, I just don't want to mix the two right now. Granted, that's your best friend, and you do want her to succeed, but she told her, like, yo, chill, don't hit him up about the situation. Is Molly fucked up for that? Yes. But she's entitled to set up her own boundaries for the situation. Now, Issa going behind Molly's back and then hitting up the friend, blah, 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 that's a little, you stepping over boundaries.
I agree.
You way stepping over boundaries.
Shout out to Gigi.
Where Molly really fucked up was she was about to fight her at her own event.
I'm telling y'all, those skinny dark-skinned girls have no limits.
No, like she can't recover from some shit like that, like ever. Like her first block party, and then niggas gonna act like it was a gun, and now like how do you PR cannot clean up?
Like, exactly. So Molly should have went up to her like, yo, hey, I know what you did, this and that, and then and like talk about it later. Granted, Issa stepped over a boundary, which she shouldn't have. It turned out well, she got what she needed out of it.
But at the end of the day, last season, Molly ass stepped over that boundary when she told old Nathan, "Don't leave them flowers here." She interrupted all that. She stepped over that boundary talking to Nathan like that when she shouldn't have.
Exactly. So but there's still a boundary, but that conversation should have had happened there. It shouldn't have been a point where they're about to scrap at Molly's event. You should have waited. You should have been more of an adult about it. She was trash for that. She was trash.
Super trash. But so glad. I mean, once again, next week, another episode. Will they be friends? Will they not? Stay tuned.
Probably.
Before we do jump into the episode, I do want to, on behalf of the Job and Tears Podcast, thank Mance Warner and, of course, the man of the hour, Leo Rush, for last week's
Leo Rush
episodes. We had 2 amazing interviews that we were blessed to have and be able to do even during quarantine. And they took Simon Miller as well, because once again we're all in this together. So I really on behalf of us as a team want to thank them for taking the time out and talking to us and just being real and being honest. And I mean, if you haven't read Leo Rush's tweets the last few hours,
my son put the hot sauce.
Spicy, and I feel like a part of me feel like it's our fault.
No. Let me ask you a question. Do you think Leo Rush, I know people ask him about it. We're not the only podcast who ask him about it. But I noticed that, because I actually pay attention, is we're the only one who actually cut out individual clips. Personally, I don't want to put that out because it made another black man look bad. It's how we watched it.
Well, no, it's not about letting the other black man look bad. It's about accountability. At the end of the day, whether it's black, white, whatever it is, as people that's in the same industry, as people you look up to, you want to be held accountable no matter the age or anything. And that's really just anything in general in life. Like accountability is everything. So I don't feel bad that you clicked that. I was actually happy. So that's
no. What I mean that I was gonna put it out earlier, but it was not the proper time because obviously shout out to the young black man who died for jogging. It wasn't the proper time for any I wanted more unity. So that's why I put out the clip on Instagram where he talks about it's tough being a black athlete because it goes with the theme of it's tough being black. Let's be serious. We've been playing on insane mode since the day we was born. But I will never trade it for the world, B. Like, being black is dangerous, and I love it. I love the danger of it. I love when people are like, ooh, I love the hard mode, B. I love the hard mode. We play on hard every single day in this life as a black man and a black female, B. But I won't trade for the world, B. Love the experience.
I don't think no one would. But once again, if you haven't seen those episodes, you can look on our YouTube, Spotify, or platforms for those previous interviews we just did. And also to Leo, if you want to hash it out with Mark Henry, you're more than welcome to help facilitate that.
Bring it on. You be the perfect person, Janelle. Janelle from HR.
Listen, I can help the brothers come together. That's what I'm gonna say.
Nigga, I'm lit right now. I'm lit. We live. We talking wrestling. All my black people's in one setting. Shout out to the light skinned king. Out here. Talking about some Quincy Brown. Oh,
well, you guys can see the comments and stuff. What are some people saying before we do jump into
you can see it too. You can see it too. Like, are you on your iPad?
No, I'm on my phone, so I can't see it.
Oh, Joe, just on your iPad, it'll come up. Just go on the group, you'll see it. Yeah, but everybody saying hi. People talking about my boy Doobie say that Israeli. He watching wrestling when no crowd is different. Everybody was laughing at me. Julian Bell said, "What up?" Antoine, some guy, yeah, this nigga's drunk. Yeah, I'm kinda. Yeah, pretty much. My son Quintus Brown. Shout out to Quintus. Shout out to
Jonathan. I had to have a back and forth argument on earlier today.
Shout out to Jonathan Holloway. That's like a real action hero name. John Holloway. Shout out to the Queen, Miss Bullock. Shout out to Dre. Shout out to the guy who runs the IG because niggas over here can't be doing it. Shout out to Dre.
You ready?
So, Lucas, what are you about to say?
Well, you been ready. We've been caught for a good 15 minutes, nigga. Go ahead.
No, you ready to start the show?
Yes.
Nigga, we've been starting the show with the theme song, dog.
Look, this one, he litty, don't mind him. This week's Darkside of the Ring episode was
let's talk about that.
Road Warriors for me is one of my top 5 tag teams of all time. So I was very invested and intrigued to knowing the background story, the life and times of, to me, one of the best tag teams ever to do it. So I'll start off with Sir Wilkins. What were your thoughts on this week's episode of Darkside of the Ring?
It was a little too short. I felt they could have gone a little more in depth on Hawk.
Animal. Well, the one that's not here is Hawk. The one that is alive is Animal.
I wanted more them to talk about Animal side of stuff. I think they focused more on Hawk. It was really good. It was really good. Most of the stuff I already knew, because even though Road Warriors is Road Warriors, I know them as Legion of Doom growing up. So those are one of my favorite tag teams. They're very iconic to me because they're like WWF, like the epitome of WWF.
Yes.
Yeah, they are.
Legion of Doom. I forgot about when fucking Draws, whatever his name was part of
was a part of the LOD 2000? How did you get that?
And that shit was so trash.
Super trash.
I remember when they came back, I was like, it wasn't the same feel at all. It wasn't the same feel. And I actually remember them doing the drunk storyline.
The drunk gimmick that was art imitating life, and it was just like, why did you do that? Like,
funny thing, WCW did the same thing with Scott Hall.
Scott Hall, yeah.
And once again, why would you do that? Like, it doesn't change the why.
It was bad too, but it was really good. It's crazy because he gives his life to like God. He like cleans himself up and he dies.
Yeah,
and it's crazy how he was living a fucked up life, almost died multiple times, and nothing happens. And he finally like decides to like clean himself up, and boom, and then he died in the very like most regular way ever.
Peaceful way.
Like he just walked upstairs and went to sleep and died. Like it wasn't like on some overdose. It wasn't like fucking 10 chicks in an orgy while sniffing coke off their butthole. It was just him just upstairs falling asleep after he just moved some boxes around.
Yeah.
So, but it was good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I wish they kind of went in depth on both of them, but you know, the wild boy got more of the attention.
Absolutely. Mr. Black, your thoughts on this week's episode of Darkside of the Ring?
The one thing that I found hilarious, while someone went to Japan, he got like another man, he called him Power Warrior. I was like, what? Like, he really went to Japan, found a whole new gimmick with another guy, and at least he had a decency to switch up his costume, like more of a samurai, but it was just like, it was mad disrespectful, you know? And I kind of understand why, like, he was kind of like fed up with him after a while. Like, yo, bro, you disrespect me. Like, I have a family, bro, and like you cost me money. And the fact that I had to work these days by myself because you don't want to do it no more. Like we was so up the car, we went down because of you. And it was like overall, like just learning that. Like he really went to Japan and did that. I was just like, wow, like niggas really just grimy, but like. The show got to go on. I mean, I wonder what happened to Power, man. Power. Like, what's an Ultimate Warrior Power? What's his name? Warrior Power?
Who are you talking about?
The Japanese guy that Hulk replaced him.
I don't remember the name.
But it was something Power. And, like, I wonder what happened to him. But, like, overall, that was, to me, that was hilarious. And it just shows you that the one thing I really, really realized that it made me, like, the one thing that really stand out is WWE had no original characters, like no people they brought up they owned during that time. Because I was watching it, I was just like, dang, they had Legion of Doom, but yet they wasn't homegrown talent. And it just shows you that how everybody want to make a big deal about AEW now that everybody AEW WWE talent, but nobody want to discuss the fact that throughout the 80s and the 90s, WWE had talent from everyone else, and it made them stars on television.
That's because Vince put his big dick on the table and was like, he was trying to take out the territory. So that really is what that is.
Fine. But my thing is this way. It still continues on to this day. Like Hogan, not original talent. Macho Man, not original talent. Ultimate Warrior was not original talent. The list goes on. Now let's forward to the 90s. We had Mark Henry, The Rock. But who was main event of your pay-per-views? Triple H, Undertaker, Stone Cold. There was not original talent. So it just shows you that people forget that, dang, WWE literally built their history on other talents. But
no, that's not necessarily true. That's not necessarily true. Before you say that, it's in a territory era. Besides the territory era, like post-territory era, the new generation was all new talent. Everybody, Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels were all new talent.
No, he wasn't. Bret Hart came from his dad. Bret Hart came from his dad. Shawn Michaels came from a tag team.
Wait. Before we say something, most talent that WWE had was from smaller promotions. The difference between AEW, what AEW's doing, is I don't care. But let's be honest, it's coming from its old WWE talent, which is a nationwide, world, global talent. They're on the same level. Because most of the talent, if you want to think about it, nobody has original talent. Everybody's from somewhere else. If you want to be real technical about it.
Well, I mean, when you think about it, though, like, then what do we consider, like, those that came through the PC and came through NXT?
But that's far in between. That's somebody like Charlotte. That's somebody like Braun. Like there's not that many people that go up in there. Let's be real. Everybody's from smaller promotions.
Right, but that's because the company doesn't. I feel like most companies don't focus on like how WWE does, like having the performance center, like having that. Like back in the day when WCW did the power plant, it was bringing up people through there.
And then WWE did OVW, which had one of the greatest talent classes of all time.
I understand that, but the only let's go back. They top star Hogan, not original talent. Stone Cold, not original talent. Now let's bring them to the more ruthless aggression. Let me finish.
Stone Cold, it was original talent because
Can I finish?
He had the same gimmick.
Can I finish? Can I finish? Can I finish? Like again, now you're right, but it's just like similar to John Moxley. He had a totally different character in WWE. Then he went over to AEW and became John Moxley. So if you really think about it, John Moxley's technically original character. If you really think about it.
But he was John Moxley before it became Dean Ambrose.
No. Hold up. That's what's my brother's logic. He said because he had different gimmicks in WCW. No, it's the same thing. You brought someone from WCW/ECW and you made him a star. Not original talent. Ruthless Aggression had one of the ultimate classes. John Cena is the only original top star in WWE that drove that much money. Only one, if you really think about it. Now,
What about The Rock? What are you talking about? The Rock is original talent. Nigga came
Stone Cold, draw more money. Why are you yelling for?
But you said that nobody made money. Nobody made money. You're not making no sense. Because The Rock is original talent. The Rock basically revolutionized sports entertainment besides Stone Cold. Because you're not saying nothing. The Rock came in on original talent. That's original talent. Shelton Benjamin, original talent. Brock Lesnar, original talent. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You want to be so technical about the thing, but you're not making any sense.
You finished yelling?
Yo,
now we can have a discussion. Now we can have a discussion about that. Now we can have a discussion about that. Because you just yelling in my ear. Literally yelling in my ear. Let's have this real discussion about that. Literally, Stone Cold made more money than The Rock. I'm talking about WWE-wise. I'm not talking about his popularity outside of that. Yes, you're right. Other than The Rock, who else? Who else were The Rock and Kurt Angle? Who else? Who else was original talent during that time? Who else? That headlighted.
I said Brock Lesnar is an original talent.
I wasn't finished. I was not finished. I was not finished.
You just asked me a question. I answered the question. Brock Lesnar was original talent. Shelton Benjamin was original talent. Batista was original talent.
If you was listening, I said they brought up original talent in a ruthless aggression era. You didn't hear that. Of course you didn't hear that. But I'm talking about the top sellers in WWE. Top sellers.
And that's a top seller. Everybody I just mentioned, Brock Lesnar's a top seller.
Let me finish.
The top seller. You just said top seller. Be more, if you're going to say somebody that's overdid it, then do this. Then do that. Because you're not making no sense. You're not making no sense at all.
Yo, next topic.
That actually wasn't even the topic. So that's why
Next topic. Yo, no, you're yelling for no reason. You're yelling for no reason. We're having a conversation. You're only one yelling right now.
So guess what?
You're only one yelling in my ear. I'm not yelling. Janelle's not yelling. You're yelling about wrestling.
Hello.
Like, this is why I hate having conversations like this with you. You're yelling for no reason.
And then you have Edge, you have the Hardys, all original talent. Because you're not making
Change the subject. You're not listening. All you do is yelling. Relax. Come down here. Let's have a discussion.
I'm trying to talk.
No, you're not. You're yelling. We're right. Yo, couch is over. You're right. I'm dumb. You're right. Next topic.
Thank you. Next topic. Thank you.
That wasn't even the topic. And guess what? I'm gonna say what I wanted to say about Darkside.
No. We changed the subject completely because honestly, no, that's not fair.
That's not even the subject.
Ear. Nah, that's
I'm not
right.
talking about what y'all was talking about. So what are you talking about?
Over here yelling, like yelling and screaming in my ear. Like, why are you yelling for? We can have the discussion, but why are you yelling for? Literally.
I talk with passion.
Oh, my ear.
I talk with passion.
My ear.
Turn down your volume, bro. Turn down your volume. Turn down your volume.
Let me know
your volume. But you know, Janelle, go ahead. Say what you want to say. The nigga getting drunk off a hard lemonade, and he want to get sensitive about this. But go ahead, what you got to say.
That made me want to drink. But anyway, as I was gonna say about
you talk like a human now. You want to talk like a human?
What?
Stop. She's talking. Stop.
Hey, damn.
Stop.
I gotta act out on a Thursday. Anyway, so this week's Darkside of the Ring episode, once again, Road Warriors is one of my favorite tag teams of all times. And the one thing that stuck out to me the most was Paul Ellering and all of his like stories and things like that. But when Paul Ellering had talked about when Hawk died, he found out, and what he ended up doing was he ended up spray painting the van, the same van that he took him to the airport in, and drove it to his funeral. I thought it was something very sentimental and very different, because you don't really, those are the stories you don't hear. Those are the moments you don't realize that, you know, are impactful to those individuals that was in it. And then also too, they dug up fucking Scott Norton's ass, and I was like, where the fuck was he?
Who is Scott Norton?
And then, you don't remember Scott Norton that was in the NWO? Oh Lord, look that up. But it's funny because they all knew each other from living in Minnesota. So like Minnesota, like with like Kurt Hennig and all of them, like Minnesota is like, I feel like low key a breeding ground too for wrestling that no one really talks about.
It's not out of nowhere. Like, what else are gonna do? It's just like the South breeding ground for football.
Oh, that's true. But still, like, it's not the place I would think like a lot of wrestlers would be from. So I thought that part was cool too. But next week's episode is the season finale, and it is gonna be a doozy. I'm actually more upset that it's still an hour. I feel like because Benoit was 2, I think Owen should have been 2. But next week's episode is the season finale, and it will be talking about Owen Hart. You'll hear from his wife, his kids, and many other people that was, you know, in his life, and going all the way down to the actual day that he died. So I'm really excited. Yet I'm not feel like I'm 100% ready to hear, you know, his wife actually talk. I feel like for the very first time. So I'm excited. Yet I'm like, oh, I don't know.
I want to see, like, what I know about the Hart family is they're very blunt people. Like, from Natalia, everybody who's associated with them, they're like very blunt. So I know that Bret Hart's gonna speak his truth. I know that probably his wife, probably whoever is alive, who's there, is gonna speak their truth. though. But it's just like, do I think that it could be 2 hours? WWE had a documentary on that, and you really think of. I mean, I don't know, because like.
Well, for me, the 2 hours, I would have rather, you know, learn about, you know, a little bit more of the Hart like dynasty, like just, you know, from Stu and Stampede Wrestling and all that stuff, and running that promotion, and, you know, to going and teaching his boys, and then, you know, Chris Benoit being the last person going through the dungeon, and, you know, just all of that stuff. Like, if it would have been,
I thought it was Tyson Kidd.
Well, technically it's not, but neither here or there.
Why? Wait. Why is the Tyson Kidd technically one?
Well, because I do believe that by that time the actual like Hart like dungeon was like sold, so it wasn't like, because it actually is a
museum.
Yeah, so like Montana had went. Well, he like took a picture in front of the house when he went up and wrestled in Canada, which I thought was cool. But I just would have rather hear about like the actual like family.
But they do talk about that though.
But which is why I think it should have been 2 hours. Like, I just think
It's not 2 hours. It's not 2 hours.
I don't think so.
You sure?
I mean,
because they spoke about, when I watched the part that I watched was long, and they speak about the whole family, about how special Owen was. So you're going to get all of that. They do it really well.
Okay,
And it's heavy on his wife.
Yes, which I'm really excited about. But a question to you guys before we talk about Money in the Bank. With season 2 of Dark Side of the Ring ending, and they're probably going to do another season because you just can't get enough of these things. What's one thing you would like to see in depth about that would be an episode for the Dark Side of the Ring if they were to do another season?
Scott Hall killing that person.
Facts.
You have that. We can also, there's the airplane that everybody talks about, that airplane ride.
Oh, that Rick was the only, yeah.
We can talk that's that episode.
They used to talk about Impact, the TNA. They should focus on Jeff Jarrett, like how that his family.
Ooh, I could definitely do a Jeff.
The Jarrett family, especially let's focus on Jeff Jarrett and how he became, like, his family in general, how he founded TNA, how he partnered with NWA, then he separated the partner, and then after that, after he got booted out of TNA, he formed GSW, and how he came back to Impact. I want to hear about that. It may be a little bit too new, a lot of people's brains, but if anything, I love to hear how he got to, what happened after he got fired from WWE, after he got publicly fired on Nitro saying that Jeff Jarrett's not coming to my company. I want to know that story, that in between that era, how he got the challenge, stuff like that, because nobody covers that. What I'm realizing that, nobody covers that weird area in between. TNA, what I'm realizing that is nobody talks about it for some reason why. There's a few British podcasters from over there talks about it, but as far as American people, it seems like TNA don't exist.
Okay. Mine's with Oddly, and I never was a really big fan. I'm sorry, not sorry, but I would like them to talk about Ultimate Warrior.
How many times you gonna talk about that man?
How many times you gonna talk about half the people that they done?
Ultimate Warrior, what is there left to say that W hasn't covered in their it's like you beat a dead horse.
I feel like with Darkside, it's a different type of realm. It's not a WWE special. It's something from Vice. It's something totally different. And I think knowing the fallout, speaking of fallouts, actually they should do one on the fucking steroid scandal that Vince was in with Terry and all them.
They should do that one.
I would like to see.
You know what? They should also do this one. I don't know if I don't think no one knows about this, is what happened to Eric Bischoff, the last days of WCW, the last days, the months, why there was so much title changes, who came with the idea with let's say Jim Crockett, whatever the actor's name. I'm talking about the end of the last year of WCW,
That's Vince Russo year.
Yeah. And low-key, it also was Eric Bischoff too. But that's one of the stuff. I want them to cover that last year WCW. I want to hear wrestlers how that. I understand that WWE told that story, but I feel there's a lot more what made you choose Booker T? How tough was it to get talent to come on board? How tough was it working for Hogan and his difficult contract? I want to hear about that. I want to hear how much money that each person made off of each other. I want to hear all of that, the grittiness of it. And I want to hear from unlikely people. I want to hear people who's Hurricane Helms, how you felt where your division was low-key carrying it. You know what I'm saying? I want to hear people like that tell it from their point of view. Because you always hear from Kevin Nash. I low-key think that Kevin Nash is a liar in my eyes. I don't never believe anything he says. Anything he says, because one interview he would say this, the next interview he would say that. I'm looking all right, nigga, you're just telling a story. So I want to hear from other people never heard from.
I'm mad you got trust issues with Kevin Nash. Take that up with him.
Yes, because he be lying.
Anyway, moving right along. Money in the Bank was this past Sunday on the WWE Network. So if you have not seen it, we do have two new, well, really now after we're on one. But guys, let's do one down for Money in the Bank this past week. And I'll start off with Mr. Black.
Money in the Bank match was up. It was cool. Other than that, it was just a cool pay-per-view. I'll be honest with you. I low-key is like kind of bored watching WWE a little bit because it be the same people over and over again. Don't get me wrong, that Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins was a good match, but I've seen that already 1,001 times.
It was a little different this time.
Because he's champion and
no,
like, one is the heel, one is the face?
It felt like just their chemistry in the ring, I felt like was a smidge different, and it made the difference.
It was cool. Again, it wasn't a bad match. It was very enjoyable, but again, I've seen that already. Too recently. I understand it was like a couple years back. Yeah, I would enjoy it. All right, cool, but it's still...
We're not going to talk about matches we done seen a couple years ago. We're not going to do that.
It was literally last year. Literally, they literally stopped fighting not too long ago. Literally. They fought the last time when the Shield reunion. That's not too far ago. That's literally not too far. That's still fresh in our brain. Like,
I totally forgot about it.
You forgot about it. Stop putting everyone else in your category.
Then you stop telling everybody that the matches that we seen it a year ago.
It's like, no. I said I said in my opinion, but you said everyone else. I didn't include no one else. I include Mr. Black's opinion. I'm saying this, like, it was a match, but overall, it was just like, now I see what other people have been saying, like, it's kind of repetitive, like, with no audience. No, I get it. The audience, I'm past that, but it's just the same guys over and over and over and over. It's literally just beating my head seeing the same people so much on my screen. There's
I get it, but then I realize it's probably the safest thing to do because
no. I know that. That I know. I'm not taking that away from it, but it's just it's repetitive now, and this is why the Money in the Bank match was so like different, and why we're gonna enjoy it because it took away from the norm I've been watching on weeks. You know, you saw Vince, you saw Stephanie, you saw Bruce Pritchard, you saw Paul Heyman, you saw niggas get thrown off the roof. It was literally what Matt Hardy tried to bring to the forefront. Like, everyone teased Matt Hardy when he brought that, Broken Universe to WWE. Everyone teased them. Oh my God, this was so whack. But literally, Matt Hardy did what he had to do. Like, he became a legend. The fact that they did this again, it shows that his imprint that's on the game. And so far, that solidified him as a legend. Just for that.
Okay. So, Wilkins, one up, one down for Money in the Bank.
So there's a few things my brother said I'm going to touch on, and also my opinion on the Money in the Bank. First things first, Money in the Bank was pretty solid. It wasn't like the best thing in the world, but it was good. It was entertaining. It was short, nice and sweet. Maybe forget about that trash-ass Jeff Hardy versus Cesaro match. My up was Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins. Probably one of the best matches in a very long time wrestling-wise. Very well done, very put together. And you mentioned that it's the same people over and over again, but there's a lot of new faces. A lot of new faces getting TV time. As you can see by Zelina's whole stable is new faces. And it's only been about 2 months, but then it kind of shows the whole temperature when it comes to wrestling fans is that y'all get bored very easily. You have Street Profits doing some things. Viking Raiders are being introduced as well. They have a little storyline going with that. Not a huge fan of that. I know we're talking about Money in the Bank, but you have a bunch of stars who are coming up. Dana Brooke is getting TV time. Carmella is doing some stuff as well. New things are happening within the Federation. It may not be the best new things, but it's something going on. And I'm totally down with Asuka winning. That was good. The way Otis won was a little funky, but it got Twitter talking. I'm not a huge fan of Otis winning, but it is a fucking epic. It is a fucking epic 2020 story. You got the girl, and now you got the Money in the Bank briefcase. It's really well done. It was fun to watch, but you can't really say it's the same people over and over again when it's a bunch of new stars coming that has been coming up and getting a TV time, and it's quality stars that need to be built up. So yeah, but Money.
Let me take the fact as the same people I've been seeing for the past 2 months.
It's 2 months. It's 2 months. They want new people again another month without building up any storylines. You take them off TV.
No, I understand that, but it's just like switch up the matchups, switch it up. But we are having a conversation where you point out something and I said, all right, I agree with you, but switch switch up the matchup.
Okay, so say that one instead. When you say to switch up the matches, that could be something that could be said as well, because a couple of matches were repeated. But this is I said it before, I said it numerous times. This is the next guy up in this situation. We're getting an opportunity of seeing future stars get to work. Austin Theory, I'm not a huge fan of him right now. He's been okay. I think he could always do better, but he's getting that rub right now. He's going back to NXT.
The biggest rub of a lifetime.
Yeah, he's going back to NXT. You can see what he'll take from being on the Raw roster and bring it to NXT, and he'll be a bigger fish in a smaller pond. But yeah, Money in the Bank was solid. It was solid. But that Seth and Drew McIntyre match, I will give you that. If that was in front of a crowd, it would have been a whole different type of energy. But what they did in an empty arena, yo, that was wrestling. That was textbook wrestling. Besides Seth not being 100% heel in the match, it was good. And my down was the way Otis won.
Oh, come on. My down was the 4-way tag title match. Oh, that was so hard to watch. I don't know. Oh, it was just not there. It was just all over the place for me. My up would have been I hate saying Seth and Drew because that really was really, really good. But I'm sorry, Otis winning, the way he won, it was hilarious. It was funny. Because you thought AJ had it and you was just like, but then it was like, AJ, why would you throw that shit down? Like, that's what I didn't understand. It's like, why did you do that? Because he was going to catch it.
I didn't see it that way. What I saw was just like, it slipped out of his hands. Like, he caught it, was like, oh, shoot. Like, he had butterfingers.
No, it was like, yeah, he caught it and then he dropped it. I was like,
butterfingers. It happened. No. That happened to me a couple of times. Like, I would have something, like, let's compare it to football. Like, I would have, like, let's say someone throwing me the ball. Like, I would have it in my hand, but I just bumbling, oh, shoot. That's it. Like, it happens.
Oh, you can't be, shooting the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Listen, it happens.
I'm excited about,
that's realistic.
But Money in the Bank was solid. I think outside of NXT In Your House, which we will touch on, I'm super excited about that. I do believe, I think the next pay-per-view they have is Backlash on the WWE Network. So let's talk about this week in wrestling. So we're coming off the heels of Money in the Bank in WWE land. Impact had a whole new signing. Shout out to our sis Tasha Steele, who just signed to Impact. We're super, super proud of you, sis. It was so good seeing her on TV. So we had Impact this week. We had NWA had another episode come up on YouTube, so that was fun. AEW Dark was like the blackest AEW Dark I've ever seen.
AEW was trash. I mean, AEW Dark was trash.
But we'll get there.
It was trash.
And then we had NXT, and then we had AEW, which I did watch.
I'm surprised.
I watched like 2 hours ago, but I watched it. So let's start off with Sir Lucas. What were some of your highlights of this week in wrestling?
Some of the highlights was, you got to give it up to Becky, getting pregnant, leaving the title. Like, it was a real moment for television. But the memes that came after with Seth Rollins was amazing. It got people talking. You got a new T-shirt out of it. It was cool. But one thing nobody is talking about, and it annoys the shit out of me, is that nobody is talking about AJ Styles and The Undertaker.
Yeah, people are talking.
No, nobody's talking about how how they're still building a feud for maybe another match. We don't know, but it was the things that were done. You see the frustration because everybody was like, "Oh, we're not gonna explain how AJ came from underground, nigga. It's wrestling. Let's move it
right. Like, you know how many times Taker got buried alive when he came back?
But AJ
did got burned in the casket.
No, because Undertaker got powers and he's a dead man. He's already dead. You can't kill a dead man.
Right, so AJ is the phenomenal one, so he's gonna get himself out of some shit. Come on.
No, I think AJ is gonna be Undertaker, right? To become the immortal one. The immortal one, the phenomenal one, the immortal one, AJ Styles. That's the one who Undertaker should feud with forever, like. Because I don't AJ will make him like $1 million, and he's a younger version of like I like to call these dudes, Shawn Michaels, I like to call them the Mario players. The people that no matter who they put in the ring with, they always could make magic anybody. And to me, AJ is the ultimate Mario player.
Okay.
AJ Styles saved Undertaker's career. Point blank. Let's keep it a buck. That's what he did. When Kurt Angle tells you, "Hey, you want to go out with a bang? Go get AJ."
And AJ and Kurt Angle had some feuds in TNA, like.
And they're still using that. What happened? That is one of my biggest ups because they're continually, indirectly talking about Undertaker and AJ Styles.
Okay.
AEW Dark was whatever. It was a bunch of black people on there, and it was good. I fuck with it.
It was the blackest AEW episode period I've ever seen.
Because people are talking, and you know what? One of their biggest flaws and one of their biggest plus is that they listen to fans. I will say that. Okay. So
you know what it is though? Like I didn't mind Dark, but I just feel like if you try to push these talents, like at least make some competitive matches. Like this is Dark. This is your show that you try to put on a network eventually. At least to make these matches like, ooh, must see. Like it wasn't must see TV. Like every one of these matches was a squash match. It was entertaining. It was just hard to watch. I was like, I don't want to watch this no more.
I think it's also because a lot of these guys don't know how to wrestle for television. I've been saying that for so long. Only a few know how to wrestle for television.
I said that too. I definitely said that the same thing too.
And it's only the top guys, which is the ones that are former WWE guys that know how to wrestle for television. They don't know. So when you see AEW Dark, even though it's a YouTube show, it's supposed to be a show. So some of the matches don't look the way they're supposed to look, and there's a lot of squash matches, but the only thing I will say is that it gives light on the independent wrestlers.
Yes.
It does give them light. That's the plus side about it. But AEW was I enjoy AEW. There's a couple of good things on there, but you guys can talk about what you guys enjoyed.
Go ahead, Mr. Black. What's this week in wrestling? What's some highlights for you?
I saw Bobby Lashley becoming the Walking Armageddon. Reforming the Beatdown Train.
If MVP and him link up, if that is going to be his mouthpiece, Bobby Lashley will be champion before the end of the year.
And I think that once again, like this is probably probably putting forth some gears towards SummerSlam. Like I think that he's either gearing up for Drew McIntyre because at this point Drew McIntyre is lacking heels to go against, and this is going to be a good thing. Like, I hope that after, like, let's say he win or lose, I just hope that he progress after this because too many times where you'll get somebody that they push them to go against somebody, and after that, the storyline goes flat. Like, are you serious? Like, he become, like, lower card in the card. I understand that he may not win the W Championship. Oh, it's the Raw W Championship, but at least give him an IC title after that. Like, at least some kind of IC title, like, have that to be able to like just like progress, like something. But I don't want to just stay stagnant if he doesn't win.
Okay, what else?
Yeah, so I don't want him to stay stagnant if he doesn't win. I just hope that it goes somewhere with this. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know why you not? Where's your video?
Oh, sorry, I had to change because my phone was dying. So I was in the living room. Go ahead, I'm here. I'm present.
That's it. I'm done.
That's it.
But you also got to understand, this was the blackest week in wrestling. This was probably one of the blackest weeks in wrestling across all boards. Impact, WWE. You mentioned Bobby last year and MVP. MVP is the uncle that Bobby never had.
Seriously.
They need MVP, and I think whatever. First of all, I'll say this again. When MVP said he's never going back to WWE, but Vince writes amazing checks. Woo! I want to see that check.
Bars.
Because this dude is getting paid and he's performing. He's doing exactly what you need. It was a good. I like the fact you brought him up. MVP is just he's doing what Bobby needs. Sadly, it was kind of what Leo was doing.
What Leo was, yeah.
So they're bringing MVP into that. They're giving Bobby swagger. That's exactly what Bobby doesn't have.
I felt that with Leo Rush, that in a perfect world, like it would have made him more popular with the younger crowd. Us older crowd, it doesn't gear towards us. We're gearing towards like the younger crowd where like able to like you got young crowd they try to gear towards. And with Leo, it gave him that young look, like this is my big brother. You know, he's cool just like me. And I felt that the WWE was smart enough and it actually let Cass continue to write for them continuously because Cass knows what's hot. Cass knows what's popular. So imagine if they, in a perfect world, he would have been popular among the youth and guarantee that he would have got more further up the card. If they didn't make him the booty master, none of that. If they kept him, how they supposed to keep him? Because he was getting over with the young people. Like, if you see little white kids going crazy over him, little like black kids going crazy over him, come on. You know there's something there. With MVP, it gives them that, yo, you're cool, but it gives them more of the older man OG type of swag where like the older crowd will see that. That's good and all, but who's the older crowd? Guys that who just saying that who just hardcore wrestling fans that usually the whole independent, no, not independent, all the people on the internet, like that's us, the diehard fans. We buy merch, but it's not a lot of us. It's all about the general population. And I felt if you had Leo's by his side, it would get him over the hump. With MVP, it does too, but with Leo, it gave him that different light towards the young people and longevity after that.
See, but the thing I like about MVP is he makes like he low-key is like a car salesman. Like his approach and how he talks and how he promotes things.
I like that.
It's like a car salesman.
And he will finish what Leo started. I like that. Shout out to Andre.
Thank you, Dre, from your I Like Sports.
No, I said Andre, not Dre.
Oh, who? Oh, which Andre?
Andre Weldon. You see him right there. My brother see him.
Okay.
But as
I was saying. Okay, cool. I'm glad he comes out and support. But as I was saying, I think MVP's approach to it, I think, is what Bobby needs. Bobby is not going to really appeal to a younger crowd because they're not going to know who he is. And for him to be taken seriously in that title, like if he were to go against Drew, because Drew is going to be the one that all the kids are going to be like, oh my God, I like Drew. Bobby's going to need that heel appeal. And I think MVP is that good rub of a heel that will give Bobby that nice little oomph that he's always going to be missing because he's not, I'm not
going to talk about Leo Rush and Mark Henry beef.
He's like, wait, what?
We're not going to talk about Leo Rush and Mark Henry beef.
We spoke about it in the beginning.
That was recorded.
No way.
I told you it wasn't.
It had to have been.
I told you that. That's what I said. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to cut this part out, but still. I did say that.
Well, it's fine. What else I was saying?
You're talking about how that him with MVP give him like the ultimate rub and like gives that heel run. I agree with you. This MVP has that. Since MVP has that experience, like he was a heel in New Japan. And he was like, he's just good at getting underneath people, but being so swaggy with it. Like, he's like that older OG nigga. Like, next thing you know, you have to give him $20. Like, how do you get $20 out of me? Like, MVP come on like, it's like someone's like you said, like, he comes like a car salesman. What you actually said? He comes like a car salesman where, like, he's low-key conniving, but he might trick you, end up doing something that you end up not wanting to do. Like, getting, like, the extra features on your car. Like, nigga, I didn't need a sunroof for, like, I guess.
So other than that, this week, we didn't talk about Bray and Braun from Money in the Bank, which I thought was very good in terms of storytelling. Also too, with AEW Dark, I appreciated the gem that Jake the Snake Roberts is to the story. He is something special, but he needs to be in a bubble after he leaves the ring because never know. What up? The women's match was trash on AEW, so we're gonna leave that where that is.
Nah, it wasn't that bad.
But I do like Britt Baker. I will say that I do like Britt Baker.
It wasn't that bad. Like, I felt that it did what it had to do. It progresses 2 different storylines in a women's match, so it did a job. So if you look at it from that standpoint, it did what it had to do.
What else did what else did I like? Oh, NXT this week was bomb. I loved it.
Mm.
Well, Matt Riddle and Mr. Thatcher had like
Thatcher
had the match of the week.
Absolutely.
Like they put on a fucking clinic in that match. That women's match, they need some work, man. Like I will. It's really bad because the company speaks about it being different, and somebody put this on Twitter and they were like, "Yo, everybody else had multiple women's matches this week, and AEW had like one."
They had a fatal 4-way. Like they put all the women to give them enough time. Like how much more do you want?
But the thing is,
and they had a second 7-way Nia Jax with the number 1 contender. How much more do you want?
Can I say something? Can I finish saying what I'm saying?
Oh, you don't like that either, right?
Yeah, so don't do it then. If you don't like it, then don't do it. But, like I said, AEW, when it came to that fatal 4-way match that I was speaking of, it wasn't good. It was not good. Once again, if you're gonna present the product in a way that you're gonna talk about you're different, you're progressive, you gotta do more. You gotta do more with your women's division, and that has been their biggest setback recently when it comes to that women's division, because it's like, yo, what are you doing? Where's the direction that you guys are particularly going for? You put the title on somebody on Shorty the first time. Forget her name. The Asian woman.
I don't know her name either.
And that didn't really work out because she wasn't over. They put on Nyla and it's working, but that fatal 4-way wasn't it.
Scratch all of that. Let's go back to this. How come Big Swole not number 1 contender? Because before the whole quarantine thing and all of that, she was number 1 contender for that title.
How come Sis has not been on TV?
That's my number 1 question. I haven't let's cough it up to the fact that it's quarantine. So let's not think of the worst of it. Let's not think of that. But we are in a pandemic world. But I just noticed I'm not trying to start no pot, but if I am, F it. She got taken off the being in the lead because she had a whole segment where she talks about how that what not to do as a white person, something like that. It was a good segment. I forgot what it was called. It slipped my mind. She got taken over to that. And I haven't seen it on television. And then mysteriously, this Asian girl comes out of nowhere, is now a number 1 contender. But then I'm thinking about this. I've been saying this for months. For a while in my head, I'm looking like, where's Big Swole? All right, when Nia Rose came back to television, I was just like, Big Swole's number 1 contender. What happened to that? I understand what you guys are saying, but you got to put an asterisk in these times right now. This is basically wrestling in quarantine. So everything that's happened, I don't take it to heart and go mad hard. Oh, where's this person? Because I understand that.
When I have Jonah coughing like that.
Watch your mouth. Never. Don't put that over my spirit. Never. But sorry. Let me drink something.
Not liquor. Liquor's not the answer.
Basically, right now, when it comes to AEW, is low-key going to be asterisk next to it because just the wrestling in general, because there's but much you could say. You don't know if Big Swole's at home taking care of business. You don't know what's a health condition. None of that. You don't know what's a personal business. Any wrestlers. So I get what everyone's saying.
I can tell you that they just did an episode with Kofi Kingston at the Story City podcast. So Sis is all right. Sis is
but
cool.
I don't know her personal business, bro.
And she lives in Florida.
Again, I don't know her personal business.
I'm just saying. I'm just putting some.
No. I understand what you're saying, though. No. Dang, I'm pointing at you like this. Dang, I kind of missed that. But no. But
this is available.
I understand that, Janelle. But again, I don't want to go deep into this rabbit hole saying that they're racist, just like that they favorite certain wrestlers, because you don't know her situation. You don't know if she has a sick child at home. You don't know if she has a family she has to take care of at the house. You don't know none of this. You don't know what kind of agreement that her and her husband has right now. So I don't want to be like, oh, they're not put on her television. That's not right to say. I don't know her personal business. And even if I did, I still won't put her business out there because I know it's business. So what I'm saying is this way, I understand what all y'all saying, but please just don't be so critical during this time, y'all, because it's just not right.
So what I was trying to say was, I'm not even talking about Big Swole. I was talking about the division in general. Where is it going? There's no real direction for what's going. Britt Baker is your hottest heel. She is your hottest star, and to me, she's the overall package of a superstar, in my opinion.
Cheers.
But what else do you have going on within that women's division? That's really gonna say this is a women's division. And yes, there was only one match. It was a fatal 4-way, but it wasn't a great match when it came to that. That's another thing. Now, when it comes to Big Swole, we know about she talked about the disease that she had to overcome. So maybe that's why she's not traveling like that. Because, but that's not about her. It's about the division. That's what I've been trying to say. Of where is it going? What direction are you putting this division in? And you're not giving us a direction.
I agree. I mean, again, times right now, there's much more you could do. There's asterisk right now.
But you got Iron Mike Tyson presenting the TNT title to Cody and Lance Archer.
So do y'all want to let me know if it's 1998 again?
What's wrong with that? Mike Tyson is, it helps Mike Tyson out because if you've been paying attention,
it helps Mike Tyson.
Yes, it's both for good because to get him on screen more because Mike Tyson's coming back in the ring because he's training to be a boxer for charity. He said he got 3 rounds left in him. So what's the best way to be on television? Be on everything. That's marketing 101, dogs. Come on, y'all.
That's mad disrespectful. That's mad disrespectful. You do not say that Mike Tyson, Mike Tyson is AEW. Mike Tyson is one of the biggest boxing champions of all time. Do not say that. But if you want to say,
I never said that Mike Tyson is AEW. I'm saying how that it gave some on. You're not listening. Listen. I said Mike Tyson being on there and get him on screen as much possible to get him in front of everyone's eyes because he's planning a return for 3 rounds for charity.
But till then, don't say he did because you did say that. Maybe you didn't mean that, so it's okay.
You heard wrong.
No, I did not hear wrong because she heard the same thing I heard. So we can move on past that. But once again, Iron Mike Tyson is going to be on AEW Double or Nothing. And Iron Mike Tyson is going to make it look even better. It's legitimizing that TNT title. And that's a good thing for AEW. I ain't even mad at them. Because the Iron Mike Tyson with the whole ass tattoo coming back to boxing, which you mentioned. And it's going to legitimize that TNT title. It's a beautiful world.
Listen, if Mike Tyson is not screwing Cody, and then I don't care.
What?
I don't care.
That makes no sense.
Thank you. What are you talking about?
And it makes no sense why the fuck Mike Tyson is there either. It's not like they're in Vegas.
How that Mike Tyson legitimized the title, and it brings people to watch the product. Like, oh shoot, Mike Tyson.
It brings people.
Hold on.
Yes, they're in Vegas.
No, they're not recording in Vegas.
But it's based like a whole Vegas theme.
It's a whole Vegas theme. Mike Tyson boxes in Vegas all the time. Casino, it's a type of casino type of feel. Don't disrespect Mike, B. You
disrespect Mike Tyson, you know what? You probably like a better Holyfield fan. You're a Holyfield fan. That's why. You still mad about taking his ear off. That's why.
What are you talking about? Like, I don't give a shit, regardless of what the fuck they do. Say who gives a shit.
What?
He got a check out here. He come back to boxing. That's looking healthy. He's fighting guys. Come on, B. Come on, B. But you talking about how you want to see him on screen. Come on. Why not? Tyson and wrestling.
Say that louder. Because she ain't paying attention.
Tyson and wrestling.
But the crazy thing about it wasn't the point where he came back on Raw and basically did nothing, right?
It's happened already, so it's okay. It can happen again. Wrestling recycles shit. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Everything recycles everything. There's nothing new. Yeah, absolutely. It's a cycle. So Mike Tyson presenting a title and being involved in a wrestling shit.
No one said that. No one said he's gonna be involved in a match. He said he's gonna present the title.
Okay.
Just like Bret Hart came, presented the title, and left.
Yeah, the first title, Bret the Hitman Hart. Yep, that happened. Mike Tyson Cup, that happened. It's okay.
What's the gimmick? Where you going with this?
It's okay. Well, I will say though, as Double or Nothing is coming up, the card on paper looks really good. I'm actually kind of intrigued.
Even with Tyson?
The pay-per-view. What about fucking Tyson? What? Don't chuck that shit up either.
What? Yo, you be dragging it.
That's number 3. Number 3.
Mind your business.
You are my business right now. What are you talking about?
Nigga sound like a straight alky right now. Nigga sound like a straight alky.
No, I'm inspired. I'm inspired.
Is that number 3 or number 4? And his eyes are getting low. His eyes are getting low.
This nigga is lit. Yo, please name this episode after you because this shit is hilarious. This is great. Like, where did you go even buy all them shits? Like, you don't even, what?
Oh.
Are you okay? Are you going through something?
Let's talk about it.
Nigga, are you?
How many you got? You bought a whole 6-pack? I ain't even that.
Wait, time out.
But I've never seen you do that.
You have a whole 6-pack of Mike Hard lemonade. You bad sensitive on camera because you get into your emotions right now. Cause your eyes are getting low.
I'm giving you a hug. Look, I'm giving you a hug.
Your eyes are getting low. You get into your emotions right now.
I love you. I love you.
This man is done.
What else is going on? What's coming up this week? Look, whatever. Look.
Let's talk about Tasha Steele being on 2, pulling a Rick Rude.
You pulled a Rick Rude. I'm so proud of this.
Shout out to Tasha Steele. Shout out to her.
That was probably I was low key the best match of the night too. Low key.
Who on Impact?
On Impact, yeah.
Impact was trash. Like, I'm sorry. Like, don't be wrong. Hernandez. I used to love Hernandez back in the day.
There's nothing you can say now that's going to even make sense of why Hernandez is on Impact right now.
Like, don't be wrong. My favorite wrestler in Impact back in the day, tag team was LAX. Like,
the original.
Both of them. You crazy? Both LAX.
Well, you was talking about Hernandez, so I thought you was talking about that.
No. That's LAX in general. The whole leanness, like everything. Okay. But Hernandez in single matches, the stuff he was doing, I'm looking like, okay, Hernandez. I think that you should never came like this too. I felt that it was entertaining, but it's like what Hernandez is known for doing back in the day. Come on, night and day. Like, it's not the same, dog. Not the same. You know, like I feel like you're saying he bought case off a Wish. He's funny, my try case snugs.
I guess not last but not least, but also I just feel like the packages that they're doing with, I'm gonna always just say Killer Cross, but Killer Cross on NXT is gonna be
Killer Cross or something.
No, Cross?
It's Carrion.
Is it Carrion or Carrion?
It's Carrion, but they spelled it super, like, I feel like ghetto. Like, I feel like they threw in.
It's spelled Carrion. It's spelled Carrion.
His name is Carrion?
It's Carrion.
His name is Carrion?
It's Carrion Cross. But it means something. No, it means something. It means some devil shit.
Regardless of the fact, the video package they put on NXT this week with the end is near from with Armageddon, like that theme song from that Armageddon pay-per-view. Woo! I was.
They brought back the classic, you know. They dust off the.
Yeah, like I was totally by surprise on that one. I was like, oh, okay, this is what we're doing.
Look at his name. It gotta be, but let me look at his name. What's his name?
They spelled it so ghetto. I was like, what? Like, this is what we're doing today. But what else?
Other than that,
what else is going on?
Like, it's just like you hear like little stuff like Vince McMahon getting sued by the XFL, like the guy Andrew Luck Pop is suing him because I found out that at the last days of XFL he wasn't there to be like a real like president, whatever his position was, he wasn't there towards the end of the day, so that's a conference what they're doing. There's not much talk about wrestling. I know that what's name daughter got released.
Paul Ellering's daughter, I think.
Paul Ellering's daughter got released. Shout out to Pineapple Pete. Shout out to
Doug D.
What's his name?
Jericho. That's a huge accomplishment. Like,
yeah, right. That was good. Shout out to Nasty Leroy. Shout out to him being on AEW once again.
He makes AEW worth watching.
Like,
listen.
Like, if he don't catch a deal, I'm gonna be upset.
Yo, it's black excellence running wild in wrestling. The mere fact that Pineapple Pete, Sugar D was in a match with Jericho, and it was actually longer than 2 minutes, you got to give him that. Yo, And then like my brother said, Nasty Leroy's been running wild on IG with Joey Janela. But the past like week and a half, 2 weeks, yo, this is amazing.
Yeah. Like Nasty Leroy getting his push. Everything as of right now, that's why I tell everybody, like during this time, like instead of looking at all the negatives, like look at the silver lining, like what's been going on. Like niggas actually at home spending time with their family. Like fathers are being fathers, mothers being fathers, brothers being brothers. Like people actually staying at home and just being more united. Like shout out to Ashley Larry, Donald Rollins. He said on the Joe Rogan podcast, he said, yo, when my kid get older, he's gonna say, hey dad, remember when we made slingshots during the whole quarantine thing? This is the best way to get everyone out. That's why I tell everybody, like, if you're gonna be negative during this time, negativity is gonna come out. If you be positive and see like the silver line, what God is trying to do for everybody, or if you don't believe in God, the universe, like there's always a bigger picture at the end of the day. So everyone's winning somehow. Yes, AEW Dark had a lot of squash matches, but silver lining at least like got people more on screen. See people I haven't seen before, like people they could actually mold within the AEW system. It's crazy that AEW has a system now. It's AEW style. That's always a positive. So what I'm noticing is a lot of wrestlers really perfecting their promo skills because you can't get over just by the audience with your cheap tricks and none of that. You gotta get over with the guys. And if the guys like you, they can critique you after. So right now, I see this as right now for wrestling, like everybody's sharpening up their skills because they doing it in front of the boys, not just the audience. People who know wrestling through and through. So overall, wrestling is good.
And before we do sign off, the other gem that's on AEW, because y'all know I don't really watch like that, but when I watch. The other gem is fucking Shawn Spears. Like this.
Oh, yeah. You see, you have been watching. You've been on it.
And you were talking shit about him.
Of course.
Shit about him.
This nigga here.
Wait, hold on. Admit that you were wrong.
I don't care.
Admit that you were wrong. Stop being Virgo and admit that you were wrong.
Exactly.
It's still what it is.
No, admit that you were wrong. Backpedal back, moonwalk your ass back, because you're disrespecting the man.
However, the last 3 weeks I watched, he's a fucking gem. And he makes,
you see?
I
hate AEW, I mean, like these WWE fans, man. They don't see Shawn Spears for who he is, the 10. And AEW, he's a perfect 20 because he breaks the scale. Woo!
That's not bars. Shut up. Anyway, but that's my final word. Shawn Spears on AEW. Pretty entertaining on my part.
You have to, wait. Let's talk about Unpick the Last Ride.
I'm not ready to let Mark go, but I know once we get to chapter 5, I'm gonna have to let him go.
Wait a minute, how many chapters is that? 1, right?
No, it's 5 or 6 of them. It's a series.
No, I'm talking out right now.
It's
one.
I'm about to say.
The next one comes out this Sunday.
Yes, every Sunday. And so once Darkside of the Ring subsides, we'll do reviews for Undertaker's Last Ride series. But the fact you mentioned this, Sir, because the fact that he don't remember the match with Brock, that's wild.
No, it isn't wild.
No, but like when he got his concussion, like he don't remember. Like that's like the only thing he remembered was like 3:00 that afternoon. After that, he don't remember nothing.
Yeah, because that
it just shows how much he puts his body through. Like there were parts that they talked about where he fought Mankind in the Hell in a Cell, which is one of the most classic matches of all time.
A broken
foot. He
was like they spoke about that in WWE Untold episode, where he was trying that he didn't really want to climb up the Hell in a Cell because he had the broken foot.
Yeah, and it's stuff like that. Then you have the part where they're fucking putting cortisone shots in his fucking knee so he can continue a match. And you see stuff like that. I love showing non-wrestling fans that shit. Because they're quick to say this is fake. No, it's not fake. It's scripted.
At all.
Yes, we know who wins at the end of the night. But at the same time, there's nobody. Another one, another Mike Lemonade. But
It's
anyway,
the same one.
Big Khaled. Flavor is that?
Mango.
Oh, how is it? Mango.
I had mango, and I have
You got the rainbow.
Yeah.
See, you was that nigga that went into the store and you started to assort it.
Yeah.
And took
it's the same price.
Shit that you wanted.
I love that for the Mexicans.
But yeah, it's good. It was good. It was one of the best things ever. It's like it's wrestling fans' version of The Last Dance, because it's such an iconic figure in pro wrestling, and everybody said the same thing. He is pro wrestling, even though I don't think he's Mr. WrestleMania. That title goes to Shawn Michaels, but he is professional wrestling, and he's the epitome of it. Of like, you take a gimmick, evolve it over time, and you have it.
I would rather him be known for the impact he's had on the business versus him being Mr. WrestleMania. Like, I don't think, especially after the streak ended, I was like, I never really saw him as Mr. WrestleMania.
Because that's Shawn Michaels. That's Shawn Michaels.
And the reason why I said Undertaker will never be Mr. Like, with Undertaker, it's kind of like he was just like one of the, like, he was like a boss at WrestleMania. Like, he was a part of the whole, all the entertainment side of the WrestleMania. Shawn Michaels was the one that, like, who definitely, no matter win or lose, he definitely put on the show at WrestleMania. From Chris Jericho, from Scott Hall, from Kurt Angle, from him and Bret Hart. This goes on. How many people that he just put on a clinic with at WrestleMania? Undertaker, he put on a clinic after Ric Flair. Before that, it was just like, all right, Undertaker. And again, it wasn't a big deal that he was winning WrestleMania. You had to notice it years later, like, oh, he's actually winning.
I think it was after the 10th one. After the 10th one, they really started counting.
Well, yeah, even it was just like, oh, this is cool. This seems like something to do.
The one thing that Undertaker should have did, and the one thing I feel like he put himself at fault is he should have, like, one thing he should have did, like, he should never wrestle Bray, because it was just like, why? Like, he should have really took like a whole year off from WrestleMania, definitely sell it. Like, all right, he's off, and actually really took a time out to really recover himself. I think that's the only thing I will say that he should have did. Never wrestle Bray so soon after Brock. To really give him surgery, everything done, like, really just get him right. Because
it's hard.
Doing that, I know it's hard, but him doing that, I feel like if he actually took that year off, it would have had more on his career. He was able to do more stuff in his career long term instead of having a stupid Goldberg match.
I think when it comes to him, though, and it's the one thing I've always said, and you guys have known, even after the match with him and Roman at Orlando, he had the issue has always been his hip. That was always the underlining issue. And people make fun because I was like, yo, Mark out here with this new hip, making moves. It definitely has helped him be able to still do the things he was able to do after Orlando. Because he had the match when he tagged with Roman, and then he did the Goldberg shit was the Goldberg.
Oh, before that,
that ain't got nothing to do with that. But I think once again, the relationship, and especially the relationship he has with Vince, and that's something that Michelle McCool had kind of touched on in the first episode. Like, literally, his thing is, and it shows how loyal he is. She basically was like, if Vince calls, he's gonna go. Like, there's nothing I can do. There's nothing that no one can tell him. Like, if Vince needs him, he's gonna do the job.
But it's a couple of things that plays factors, and he mentioned it. Him getting a new hip is one thing, right? That's great. He can move better. But you also got to understand is the pacing of a match. Being in a match, you can't replicate that in a gym. Like, you have to be wrestling. And he has ring rust every time he goes to WrestleMania. That's one of the biggest. I think that's the bigger problem. And a lot of wrestlers right now can't wrestle, and it's killing them because they're going to get ring rust. Unless they have a ring in their backyard, which some of the dudes down south do, It's hard to get away from ring rust. Your body, it's a movement. We can talk about, I compared it to The Last Dance. When Michael Jordan went from baseball to basketball, he had to restructure everything that his body was doing.
Yeah.
His body had to move differently for a new sport. And it's the same thing with Mark, a.k.a. The Undertaker. Every time he goes back to a WrestleMania, it's ring rust. He hasn't wrestled in a year. It's hard. But then again, you mentioned it, Vince calls, because at the end of the day, you can say what you want to say about Vince. When it comes to Undertaker, he put money in Undertaker's pocket, made Undertaker a multi-millionaire, made Undertaker a household name, made Undertaker something huge. Also, he respects the Undertaker because Undertaker is such a fixated figure in sports entertainment. So they have that relationship. So he's gonna be loyal to him, because we all remember when Undertaker had that signing. Was it at WrestleCade or something? Was it WrestleCade?
It wasn't WrestleCade. It was Starrcast in Vegas when AEW was out there.
Exactly. So it was at Starrcast. It's at Starrcast. And everyone was like, what the fuck is going on? And what did Vince do? He picked up that phone and said, hey, you're pulling out.
Yeah.
And what did Undertaker do? He pulled out. Love is love, respect is respect, and loyalty is a bigger thing. Loyalty is loyalty. So I think the biggest thing, you mentioned the hip, but just to kind of wrap it up, it's ring rust. The man wrestles one time a year.
No, I get that. Like the match that he had with Roman, I think he only had he only trained like 2 months, like right before it happened. So it was like, you're not gonna be able to do much in 2 months.
It needs to be like 4 or 6, and it's like, and this is why I always tell people to watch like these types of documentaries to better understand the sport, because people just think I can just walk into that ring and do anything. It's fake wrestling. It's fake fighting. Nah, bro. Nah. You're gonna get hurt. You're gonna feel pain.
Yeah, it don't work that way. But this has been fun. I think we're gonna wrap this up. Next week we'll talk about Chapter 2, since it will be already out this weekend. Also too, next week, I really feel like, when is Double or Nothing?
It's next week.
It's next week.
Next weekend, next Sunday.
Next week we will give our Double or Nothing predictions as well. And then also review wrestling and all that jazz. Any last words before we do sign off, gentlemen?
Shout out to Leo Rush. I have to say this, Leo Rush is just, shout out to Leo Rush doing what every millennium, like everybody around his age, want to do, is just live his best life. And I commend him just always just being himself and always have his dick out like, I'm the man. And the fact that he called out my academy and said, your number don't work, B. What's up to your expenses, my nigga? What's up with that? The fact that he said that, shout out to Leo Rush. Shout out to all the other black podcasters. Oh, I gotta tell you, I got something. So, you know, somebody called me a white supremacist.
You said somebody called you a white supremacist?
What?
Who called you a white supremacist?
One of these like all black African groups, like, you know, African American for wrestling. So let me tell you the story, right? So once again, like the Leo Rush interview got passed around among all the groups, right? In the middle of the night, I just finished watching the Giselle Zone with Nasty Leroy. Just finished watching it. I think I woke up, checking around, and I saw it. And it was a group. They was talking about the episode. Some guy was just like, oh, this is Jabba Tears, man. 2 people. Oh, I ain't messing with it. So they said that because of the whole Tesla situation, we won't get backlash forever for about that. To this day, like when you hear people reason why they want to bang with us, people make good points. Someone said that because we had no real backup from somebody who basically picked up our story, this is why they don't believe it. But I kind of see it this way, where like if you watch the episode, my brother clearly says I cannot reveal my sources. Nobody watched that part. So I got the clip where my brother was talking about how what Tesla was wrong. And the girl was just like, oh, it was cute that you put that, but still though, I don't feel y'all credible enough to even say nothing, like speak about it. And
that's okay, sis. That's all right.
The black guy brought up my brother's tweets from our group. So it clearly shows that people still watch it, but they hate watch. So
We appreciate those viewers too.
Love it. I love people who hate watch.
I think that we do not
fans.
appreciate those that watch, that love us, or don't like us, or don't like things.
But still watches us.
About wrestling, though, everybody's gonna have an opinion.
But this is the part where I was just like, it be your own people. So I said that again at the end of the tweet. My brother said that she should never said that. And I showed them the clip where my brother talked about Tessa to back up the tweet. I had evidence, receipt. I was just like, I'm with it tonight. So this guy said, oh, like, I know what kind of black you guys are. Y'all guys are white supremacists because y'all made Tessa look like the victim. What? I read this. I was just like, you're dumb. Conference is over. Because that alone, it shows me that you heard nothing in that we said, none of that, and you pick and choose what you want to hear. Basically,
people gonna live in their own ignorance, and that's fine. Like, that is okay.
But I find that funny because I'm looking like, we're white supremacists? Really? Like, we brought on some of the blackest people on the show. We talked about the most blackest issues ever. And then he said that, you know what? I'm done with y'all. I'm gonna stick to some podcasts in wrestling. They're good, but I'm looking like, why can't everybody have an even playing field when it comes to black people? Why do you have to choose one or the other? Just because we don't agree on something doesn't mean that I'm a white supremacist, King. Like,
but once again, people gonna believe what they want. They gonna say what they want, and that's okay. So those that sometimes you don't agree with us, that's okay. We are always open to a conversation. That is why we have the podcast. It is okay. If you are a podcast and you want to do a debate with us, hit us on a DM.
Thank you. I be telling people, yo, you want to debate? Like, I be shutting them down. Well, I be saying something like, I understand what you're saying. I agree with you, King. I be complimenting them. I was just like,
oh, because you know, niggas don't like kindness. They don't like that shit. So you know,
I hate you. You like white people. You're white supremacist. And I love people. Like, I was hurt. I was just like, I'm a white supremacist, but I'm the one who was talking about, you know, us people got built together, and like, this whole podcast, we basically create a network for black podcasts in New York to come together and express themselves. You never deny anybody. Wrestling parties. We have like some of the blackest people from the old indies. Shout out to Prolific. Shout out to y'all, you know, Prolific. You know, shout out to Trio. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to Jonathan. Like, we try to present black acts. Like, one of my favorite people that I love representing when we come to New York is Big Time Yaya. But I'm white supremacist, right?
Well, listen, don't let that, you know, be the butt of it. It is what it is. We gonna ride till the wheels fall off, so it don't even matter.
Speaking of that, one documentary I did end up watching was Super Size Me Part 2.
Good to know. Good to know.
No, listen, it's good. It's good. Like, I love documentaries. That's why I love them. B.
I may take a look at it then.
If I could, I'm gonna say this. My life's gonna be a movie one day. I'm gonna make it a movie or a show.
Guess what? It already is. So on that note, we thank you guys for viewing. Those that are still on Facebook and have been watching, we thank you guys for tuning in. We wanted to pop up and give you guys an update live and in color and in person. So this episode was for you. Next week, once again, we'll talk about the Dark Side of the Ring episode. We'll talk about Taker and all of that jazz again, and we will get ready for AEW's Double or Nothing pay-per-view, which, you know, I'm gonna end up having to pay for, so it is what it is. But as always, I'm Janelle from HR here with Sir Wilkins and Mr. Black with his Mike Hard Lemonade.
Pause. Sound mad. Wow.
We ain't gay. I ain't gay. Mike hard. Mike is hard. He's
hard. You can't say it like that.
I'm gonna sign off.
He's hardcore like New Jack, baby.
That was mad.
You said New Jack. Hashtag Black Excellence. Hashtag we're out. Bye. I can't.
Bye.
Is over, got the hands in motion. If you go a rolling, no need to focus. Traveling states and over oceans. You gotta wait till your coast chosen. Trying to have lines outside the show like Harry Potter releases at Barnes and Noble.